Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. I am Vishal Menon. Today I am going to be reviewing Mysskin's new film Psycho. In the 14 odd years since the inception of the MCU or Mysskin cinematic universe, the filmmaker's idiosyncrasies has neared mythical proportions in the mind of the Tamil cinephile. Call it acute fanboyism or mild withdrawal syndrome, but something feels amiss when an embodied corpse or some highbrow name dropping goes missing from the screen even for 10 minutes or longer. Not that this is really going to be a problem in the director's latest. So one feels right at home when Psycho 2 begins with a dedication and a quote. We also get characters with disabilities, like a blind man, his quadriplegic lieutenant, and the villain's hard of hearing employee. We also get a string quartet, beautifully humanized sex workers, a tracking shot that takes you through the entire length of a railway station, indulgent God-side top-angle shots, including one that evades a crying father shouting Kadavule, and of course a woman dressed in yellow. And when you feel mildly aroused at the sight of a corporation trash can, you know your teleportation to Mysskin's world is complete. Which is why it doesn't stick out when one of the 13 missing women in the city goes by the name Sylvia Plath, with Kamala Das, another literary figure, being the name of an ex-police officer. The Buddha too makes several appearances in Psycho, but this time the connection is more direct, more integral, because the protagonist is a visually impaired man named Gautam, and we often see him sitting on the stairs right below the mural of a large tree. So when Kamala meets Gautam first, she asks, "Don't you have any desires or asset?" He does, but just one. Gautam wants to rescue the woman he loves, an RJ named Dakini, the titular psychopath's 14th victim. Apart from the case at hand, Kamala and Gautam are also joined together by another factor, darkness. So if the latter has to deal with the darkness that comes from his physical inability to see, Kamala's is more mental, the kind she has imprisoned herself in after a tragedy. And later, when Dakini waits for this psycho to decapitate her to add to a substantial collection of 13 other severed heads, all she says is, "Gautam will find you." Almost like a prophecy. Because eyes are not always enough to help you see, especially when darkness is a skill set. Because the police have been on the lookout for this killer for 2 years, but they've not been able to even come close. Even without deeper readings, the hunt for the killer always keeps the film compelling. Given the protagonist's disability, oral and even olfactory clues replace the visual to move the case forward. Yet this never leads to the point where we take the villain lightly. And there's always a sense of danger and this constant unpredictability when you're dealing with an unhinged mind you don't understand. The killer has no clear motivations or obvious weaknesses either, making him even more dangerous. Which is why it becomes remarkable the way Mysskin turns even this animal into a human in our heads. Like the director mentioned in recent interviews, the story of Angulimala forms the base for Psycho, but there's other elements at play as well. For one, the similarities with Hitchcock's own Psycho goes far beyond the cosmetic. What if Norman Bates' mother took the form of Mother Mary in his head? What form of sin did Anguli commit to become what he has today? Mysskin's version even throws open the idea of an Oedipus complex in Anguli and a possible Stockholm syndrome in Dakini, all of which will lead to much debate in subsequent viewings. Ilaiyaraja's score is top-notch, which means it is as tender in the film's painful moments as it is terrifying in others. The camera work by Tanveer too is fascinating, which leads one to wonder how Mysskin has this ability to create his unique visual universe with every cameraman he works with. But even for Mysskin standards, the violence of Psycho can get a bit daunting, with the sound design adding more menace here than straightforward shots of headless torsos. Aided by some terrific casting, especially Nithya Menon and Ram who plays Anguli, and some great writing, Psycho is proof of how you can take the template of the regular slasher film to turn it into a poetic story of intense guilt and redemption, and the people we call psychopaths and the reasons why they become who they are. So that's it for my review of Psycho. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to Film Companion South.